Okay, so I wanted to do some talking about the trip and stuff, things I observed, especially on my drive yesterday. Oh my God. Um, but right now, I can't even tell you how much pain I am in. Oh my God. I'm in the kind of pain where you're just like desperate. Like, this is horrible. I can't figure it out. And I think my face is really bright red because I was seeing I put the tub so hot and I put a bunch of different salts and soaks and stuff like that. And so then I soaked in it for a while to try and get my muscles to relax. I am just assuming it's from the fall, but the poisons and stuff, I know it's doing something to make the nerves overreactive. I mean, it's ridiculous. Just the bumping my finger that day and the extreme pain. Oh my gosh. And this morning, I bumped something and was like, oh, my knee. Because when I fell, I hit my knee first. And then is when I braced myself. And that's what I'm assuming is this pain in my shoulders. Like even trying to lift up to put your clothes on. Oh my God. And this is the kind of stuff, that usually you turn around and go to the doctor, oh, please give me some medicine. And I'm refusing it. No, I'm not going to the doctor. I'm going to figure out how to handle my pain on my own and figure out what's going on my own and just try and take the best care of myself I can. And, but this morning I was looking for something. I have a bunch of stuff now when I was at their house. Oh, I'll give you blah, blah, blah. We go so cute with that, So I have a bunch of stuff I was looking for this morning and putting it in a box. And I was on that knee. And when I stood up, it was like re-injuring it all over again, just from putting pressure on it and then releasing the pressure. It was over the top. And, I just know there's something more going on. And I know it has something to do with me really being tuned into my body. And I don't know if it happened because I got a brain injury. I had to start paying such close attention. I always felt I was tuned into my body in a natural kind of cycle because of the way I didn't need an alarm clock. I just tell myself to wake up. And, before people kept shaming me and telling me I was anorexic and I just listened to my body, then I was doing really much better physically. But anyways, I was younger and stuff like that. So there was points in time when I listened to my body, but I still let the bullying crowd, talk me out of what I felt inside and guide me towards the acceptable state of being in this weirdo place that we're existing in. So, anyways, when I was the pain thing, the body thing, yeah. Okay, so one thing I was talking to my daughter, when I talk about like tapping into your body and tuning into your body, like, you don't know what everybody thinks those words, what comes to their mind when you say those words. So I wanted to give this example because I thought it was really, really good. So my oldest daughter, she's had a lot of problems with pregnancy. She's the one who had her little baby die, Olivia. But Olivia always stays around us. She's always with us. There's, she's a soul that's still in our family, helping from the other side. So, but it's still sad. I mean, you don't get to, sit in the room and touch them and stuff like that. That's why I think we have to get so much more into the appreciation of actually being alive. Not sitting here whining about what we don't have, but really appreciating what we do have. Because those little moments, just to be able to touch somebody who's alive with you, those things, to be able to go and have experiences together, that's what life is all about. This, I'm going to go work my ass off and I'll meet you at dinner. Oh, I had to work late. That is not living. It is no wonder everything is so toxic. So anyways, my daughter has been trying to get pregnant. She reached that age where it was like everything in your system kicks on and says, I gotta have a baby. I gotta have a baby. I gotta have a baby. And so she's just been like, oh my God, it's all consuming. And she kept getting pregnant and losing the baby. And I kept saying like, well, What's the deal with the people you're working with? Are you working close to them? Do they have these? Because in the news it says that's a big problem, that there's some kind of shed thing that's happening, and it's making people have miscarries and stuff. So I was trying to get her to, but she thought, oh man, that was where she was just really, she lost her, not her composure or anger or whatever, but whatever she was holding back before of thinking this stuff I said was crazy. She definitely let me know at that point that I was talking crazy talk, and she did not want to hear it, so I had to shut up about it. I had to drop it. And so it's hard to watch stuff. This is one of my biggest problems. It's so hard to watch stuff when you know the truth. I'll tell you what's going on with my brother too. It's just, this is man, there is a good side and a bad side to awakening and awareness. I'll tell you that. So anyways, she had been trying to get pregnant, and so she had to really start focusing on her cycle and her body. And she said she knows exactly what's going on in her body now every time, because she was so focused on it. Like, she can tell, like, oh, I'm about to ovulate. Oh, I'm about to have this happen. I'm about to have... That is tuning in, tapping into your body, paying attention. When does your body want to eat? When does your body want to move? When does your body need to rest? Not what they schedule you and tell you, but what do you need for your own self? And that is the tuning in, tapping in, kind of what I'm thinking, the words. It's the only words I can ever think of that kind of demonstrate what it really is, because it really is like tuning in, tapping into what's happening inside of here. And there's so much going on, but people are so used to being focused outside, like, do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? Oh, all of this all the time that goes on that keeps us distracted. They've got the things that we need to focus on the outside. They've got everything flipped. So things we need to focus on for the outside we need to be on the, you get what I'm saying. I can't even untwist it for myself. And so anyways, that is, that is the part about tuning into your own body, your own cycles, your own patterns, your own feelings, and your own impulses, your own triggers, your own automatic responses. All of it is just beginning to have an awareness of that and paying attention to that. And then mastering it and getting control of what you want and don't want. Having a real look at yourself and seeing yourself clearly without the obstacle of ego in the way that is blocking you from seeing the true side of yourself that needs the healing, that needs the work. You're not going to just put your best face out there and pretend like everything's okay, because nothing's okay with anybody. And this whole thing happening is so that you can bring that to the surface and heal it. So, you don't want to be repressing it. You want to be bringing it up. And no matter how scary or hard it seems to face, it still is super important to face it. So, and this is another thing that is super hard when you know the truth and you can't get people to hear you. So I got a message. See, I was at my mom's, which my mom is losing her damn mind. She won't turn off the TV. I told her. She has it going and stuff, and then she just gets mad, and she's cussing and stomping around. And then she gets mad at herself because she feels like she's becoming judgmental and stuff. It's, Mom, that thing is bringing it out in you. Turn the fucking thing off. I said, it's pissing me the fuck off every time they call that guy president. I'm about to lose my mind. So I don't know how you do this all day long. And, but anyway, so while I was there, we get a group message. And the group message is my sibs and my mom. And so now my brother, he's been such a rigmarole bullshit. Just total Western medicine. Oh, insurance. Oh, hospital. Oh, this service. Oh, no, you got to go over there. Oh, well, we need this done first. Oh, you got to do this. Oh, this? Okay. That's it. That's what they do. Pass you around. Oh, another $45 drop here, another 50 here, 100 here. That's all they do. And, and he's feeling the pain, apparently, of the financial burden of supporting, big pharma, basically. We're supporting the Rockefellers and all these motherfuckers. So, so funny. They're so rich, but they're so rich off our blood, sweat, and tears. So, anyways, there was all these different things, oh no, they weren't going to do this, they weren't going to do that, oh, it should be slow growing, all that. Even though everything is super accelerated, which I have some thoughts about that is kind of weird that I'm going to share that I got on my trip, but there's something weird going on. I'm telling you, there's some weird shit going on. So he, whatever, then this group message, like, I don't know all the background. All I know is like, that wasn't going to be done. And then all of a sudden we get a message. It's definitely being done. It's being done in 2 weeks. They're going to go in. They're going to try and, his tumor has grown, of course, because everybody's is growing really fast right now, because this is what Western medicine wants. This is exactly what they're getting with him. So then they're going to go in and try and remove some of it, because they may as well if they're going to go ahead and biopsy it. And this is what I kept trying to explain to my mom. This is what I learned in nursing school. And I can't tell you for sure that everything is accurate, because everything is so based on lies that we're taught. But from what I understood, so we have cells all over inside of our body. All different cells. Like, it's different cells that make up your face, it's different cells that make up your throat, it's different cells that make up your liver. Like, everything has its own set of cells, right? And so those cells can get sick or something, or just break free. Somehow they get loose from their own group, and they move through the system, and they attach somewhere else. And when they attach somewhere else, it forms a problem, because it is it's foreign to that place. So that's how it can become malignant, because it can just start growing crazily because it's in the wrong place. It's not growing the right cells in the right place. And so it can become a tumor. But a tumor, from what I understand, I picture it as being its own thing. Like, it's encapsulated almost with a tiny film that holds it, the stuff that makes it up, depending on what it is and what's growing and stuff. And when you have something foreign in your body, your white blood cells go and try and attack it. They're like your warrior cells. But there's even more cells, like we would call them EOs, I think, for short. But they have more kind of like the Green Berets and the Navy SEALs of your blood cells. You have some like that go in, and your whole lymph system is to fight off toxins and to try and keep you healthy. And so, and they're attacking these certain systems on purpose so that we can't fight off the sickness, because they're trying to reduce the population, but they're trying to do it slow cook us, because then they can learn a lot by like what makes us sicker and how we react and what medicine we need, what medicine they can develop for us, all that bullshit. So anyways, so in your body, you'll have that stuff go fight. And so I don't know, if it becomes like in a film kind of stuff, it starts building or whatever. But to me, that all seems kind of like organic. Like, it happens in your body. Like, if its own tissues go into another place, I think there is something to this whole thing with frequency and alignment and getting everything back in alignment with our bodies. I think that's vital. I think that's our hidden knowledge, is about the herbs, the weeds, and vibration, and getting ourselves centered so we can heal ourselves, so our bodies can heal themselves. So I think that is everything that is about healing. That we need to take care of it. Like, you can't go and put oil gas mixture into something that needs clean gas, you know what I mean? So you have to know what it is your body runs on, kind of. But anyways, if you get what I'm saying about that, like, I just know that we can heal ourselves, and they're doing this stuff to make us sicker so that we do it. The stuff's growing faster, And now they want to go in and do this thing to remove this thing. But I don't think out of everybody in our family, after all these decades and all these generations, that suddenly we've got cancer in our family. Oh, brain tumors. No, and especially when he had, I think, at least two. I'm assuming three. But, and seeing the tests that they've been doing, this shows what's inside of them. And it's little particles of plastic. There's all sorts of shit in there that does not belong inside of here. So it would attach anywhere like those cells, and it would give the look of a tumor. But it's not a real organic one. It's a manufactured artificial one, just like everything else. So I don't know that it would grow a film. I don't know that it would encapsulate itself or anything. To me, I keep thinking about, like, Stella grows these weird cysts all over her, and it's kind of a massive thing. It's kind of like ziti skin, kind of, really, because they just have an oily coat. And so they get these like cyst things, and they usually just go away. But I've talked about it before, because she's had them rupture, and they want to charge huge amounts of money to take them off. But they rupture and they heal. Like, all I did was do Epsom soaks and antibiotic cream and stuff like that. Keep it clean, and I don't know. Anyways, so what was I talking about? The antibiotic cream. What the fuck was I talking about? I always go off on some other thing. Hold on, let me think what I was talking about. So, I don't even know why I started talking about Stella. And I feel so out of it still. Okay, so, the things growing faster. So one time they decided to biopsy him. And so when she went in to cut into him, they just kind of disintegrated and fell apart. They couldn't even get a piece. They were just so kind of like a dried up old scab. So I keep thinking it's going to kind of be like that. Like, when they go to try and take some out, it's not going to hold its form. It's not like cutting a steak, taking a piece off and leaving the rest. I think they're going to cut into it just like what they did with hers, and it's just going to kind of disintegrate. So I don't, and then that's in his head, you know? And when it's artificial, like I don't know. I'm just so sick of all this shit. And we were told in the message, to just, you don't want to hear anything. You don't want to hear any crazy stuff. And so everybody just needs to leave him alone. I knew it was directed to me, so I was just okay. So I couldn't even stop myself this morning. I just sent him a voicemail, and I just said, I can send you some stuff. There's a lot of research, there's a lot of evidence. There's people going into these beds right now with tumors, coming out 4 hours later without them. I would at least, to me, you got 2 weeks still, they're going to start cutting open your brain. I would be going and doing everything. Like, I just don't understand this mentality, but it's the mentality that's here to learn. But it's super hard to watch people learn stuff. Super, super hard. I'm definitely somebody, I'm trying to teach somebody to tie their shoe, and I'm watching for a while. It's like, wait, I'll just do it for you. Look. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is hard as shit. So, anyways, I told him about that there was some high technology stuff that was going, and, I said, I already understand about Western medicine, but I get it. You've got to learn for yourself. And, his whole family's panicking. I mean, he's younger than me. He's only in his late 50s. So, but, I mean, right now we got all sorts of ages dying because, we're in a big old test right now. They're testing on us. The chemicals and all that. Like, I couldn't believe yesterday, even when it was starting to leave, because it was supposed to be a day where there was no rain. So it was, oh my God, it was so beautiful, blue sky when I got up, and I went to go get Stella, and just big, wide open blue sky. But I saw planes going already, and you could see the lines, just really faint. And so I went up, I got her, come out like 15 minutes later, start going. I couldn't believe it. whatever it is that they're putting, it doesn't like look like much, but I'm telling you, it hits into something else and just expands huge, just like in chemistry class. And then they do these little swirly things and make it look like it's, I mean, they're just trying to trick us. But I watched them build this white atmosphere on top of the blue sky. And then on top of that, they started making these darker gray clouds. So they're definitely making another atmosphere on top of the other one. So why they're doing it, I don't know, because we know we don't need to really be blocked from the real sun. I mean, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't understand what this halo thing, I mean, waking up and opening your minds up to the fact we're in this dome in a firmament and we're surrounded by waters, not air. So, you know, and everything is flat and everything goes out, not out. Everything that goes out is dimensional. So I don't know. I there's so much stuff. It's just like so confusing. Like, so I was driving on the way there, and I might have already said this, but on the way there, this weird thing happened because I drive all the time with my music. When you're driving out, which, man, I'm still totally recommending anybody who has not done their state highways or any state highways, get out there and do them. It is crazy. I mean, it is crazy. I just recommend everybody do it. Go do it for yourself and see. And you make your own, you know, your own perspective about the situation and what you see and stuff. I know what I see. I see resources everywhere. You know, I see us all jam-packed in a damn freaking bottle, and they haven't put enough air, you know, like when you would catch the bugs when you were a kid and you get them in a little jar and then you poke the holes in the thing. That's what I feel like. And a lot of us are trying to climb out and get out of the holes, as this is, we have to have that drive. We can't just sit down here and fight with each other over what they offer. We have to have the drive to want more and go out there and create our own world. But anyways, so while I was driving, I always have the music and the navigation on, especially doing these routes that I'm not familiar with. I have to use it while I'm trying to learn the route. And so when I was going, all of a sudden it started, like my phone started heating up. It started flashing that it was going to die. What does it say? You're out of whatever, your power's low or whatever, you know, the little flash thing it starts saying. And so I was like, well, that's weird. It's plugged in. It's been plugged in this whole damn time. So I start thinking, oh, it's the plug. So I'm messing with the plug thing and trying to get it to start charging. It wouldn't charge. It wouldn't charge no matter what. It wouldn't charge. So I turned off all of the stuff. I turned off the music first, tried that. Kept staying 19%, 19%, 19%. So I turned off everything. I even turned off the whole phone. And I'm doing all this while I'm driving. I turned off the whole phone and it didn't, it was still not doing anything. And so then I was like, well, this sucks because I'm about to get to a part, like for a long ways, you're driving like 96 miles on the same road. But then all of a sudden you start getting closer and it's like you got to do all these turns. And I was like, oh my God, that's going to suck. Well, and I'm starting to think like, okay, so when I get close enough, I just got to find something I recognize. Once I find something I recognize, I can find my way around. I just got to find something I recognize. And I'm coming in a totally different way into, like, when you live in the town, you know, this is not a typical way that I would go. I never go out this way. This is out like towards the Air Force Base. When I come in, I'm coming in over there. And so it's just, anyways, I was kind of like, oh God, that's going to suck. And so I'm driving, you know, and I keep messing with it. And in my head, I keep thinking like, oh man, it's going to suck. And then, you know, finally we get to a certain place, and this had been going on for hours. And finally we get to a certain place, which I would say like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes out of town or something. And all of a sudden it started working and charging and doing everything. So I was thinking, what the fuck is this? Was I like in some sort of Bermuda Triangle or something? Are they doing something with the energy with the towers out there? Are they testing something? Is it doing something to pull the energy or something? And I'll guarantee fucking tell you one thing is those towers don't do shit for your cell service. I will guarantee you that. There is not one, I think it's worse personally. So them trying to tell us like, oh, it's to improve anything. No, it's a weapon. Has nothing to do with improving shit. So and another fucking thing is I saw, even in Spokane, I had to go over to another part of town. And what really stood out, because somebody else was driving and I saw this giant tower. Like one of those that's got like rows of those, whatever that shit is on it. It looks like cameras or microphones or something. I don't know what it is. So had a whole bunch of those. This is one of those really big ones. And it was in an elementary school. And it was in a poor part of town. My one daughter lives way up on the South Hill where really rich people live. I didn't really think I saw as many towers up there. I keep trying to think, where did I see any up there? I'm sure there had to be some because they're everywhere. It's like a grid. They have it set up like a grid. But when I saw what they were doing, and remember what I just said about how they do these tests on these kids at certain ages. And so, those kids do those tests and then that kid is pulled out and go to a special school or whatever. The ones that they see would be, you have to know what they're looking for. And they're looking for, all different kinds of slaves, super soldiers, people who can be MK Ultra, people who they can use their gifts for the government's benefit, all of that stuff. So, then at this school where they decide these kids are expendable, let's just put one of these right out here in their playground. So, let's make sure they're at school all the time so we can melt their brains. And that's funny, once those things were everywhere, that all of a sudden, kids can go back to school now. Yeah, I think so. And let's make sure they can't breathe very well, and let's zap their brains all day long. Like, man. But this is all because of our souls are here to learn something. I have to tell myself, our souls are here to learn something. So, I don't know. There was something weird about that, though. The way the time and the way something was happening, it was pulling the energy, but it was keeping it so steady. Like, it was weird. It went up to 20 one time for a second. I was watching it. Went up to 20 for a second, and it was there for like a couple seconds, then went back to 19. And that was the only time. And it was a couple of hours. And it did at one point start going way down and went down to like 10 or 9. But it would never go past 19. It would never fully go past that. It kept staying in the red battery zone, where it shows you red and keeps flashing. It's going to turn off. It's going to turn off. Danger, danger. So I thought that was weird. There was a lot of stuff that was weird when I was driving. And I can't remember all the stuff now, but because the drive home was so fucking weird. So, I want to say that about the drive home, but I also want to say real quick is one of my son-in-laws, I was talking to him, like I did not stop for a second telling people, like, I kept pointing it out and pointing it out and pointing it out. I was like, the government's poisoning you, the government's poisoning you, the government's poisoning you. Like, come on, people. You got to take care of yourself. And you got to have the awareness so you got to take care of yourself. You're going to do something way different if you think you have a flu than if you think you're being poisoned. Like, totally different. So, especially you're going to go to the people poisoning you and asking, oh, please, I'm so sick, help me. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to give you more poison. God damn. So, anyways, when I was talking to him, and they have so much, like, it seems like there's a whole group of people who really was doing all this research around the Jay-Z, Beyonce kind of situation, and started looking into all this Illuminati, Rockefellers and all that. So they started seeing all this stuff. And I swear, I think it was like 10 or 12 years ago. It was a while ago. And it was kind of a thing for a while where everybody was talking about, I can't really remember because I wasn't in that group. My kids, my older daughters, especially one of the middle ones, was in that group. And they knew a lot of people who were looking into that. Well, those people got to a point where they were just really so, like so many of us have been, like just frustrated. Like, what do you do? This is so fucked. What can you do? And then they just kind of withdrew, turned everything off, just kind of. And so I think when they really start realizing that things are going to change, all of them will wake up to that really fast. Because I think they're the ones who are not watching the news, they're not paying attention to social media. They don't pay attention to any of that stuff. They just want to be like zone out from all of the terrible things in the world or something. So, oh my God, my hair just will not stop falling out. And I feel like right here and right here, I have new hair growing, but I don't know. I really feel like the attacks are really bad over in Spokane. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Just watching them turn the sky white. And I kept trying to tell my daughter. And, my ex coming out there and saying that there's some sort of powder on everything. I kept trying to tell him, like, start looking at things differently, people. Like, pay attention. Does this make sense? So, and where would the pollen be coming from? Like, oh, everything in nature is out of sync, but suddenly we just have mold, tons and tons of pollen. Like all the plants are pollinating. No, all the plants are motherfucking dying. So when I was driving yesterday home, I ended up going the mountain route. So it is beyond beautiful. Like if you have not done that route ever, I would totally recommend it at some point. Because things are going to get better. And we are going to be able to travel and do stuff. I don't know when. But I still think it's soon. Much sooner than a lot of other people think. But anyways. So, I'm driving. And it's super beautiful. And it's just a 1-lane highway. And you're going up in the mountains and stuff. And there was one part. Well, while I was watching them cover the sky. I mean, I was getting outraged. I kept pulling over and making little videos. I was getting so mad. And then they kept stopping us. They kept stopping us and making us just sit there for like a half hour. And we would have to have a flagger and then one of those, what are those cars called? Escort car to go up this whole thing. They did it over and 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 over the whole fucking way. And I swear to God, it reminded me so much of the Truman Show, when he was trying to get away and they kept having all these artificial, like all of a sudden, there's this problem and that problem and they keep trying to stop him and then somebody calls him Truman. And he's like, what? He realizes it. That's what it was like. I swear to God, it was like, this is made up shit. Like, what the fuck? And a lot of it was like they were painting stripes. So you can't just section off one place and move like that. No, you got to section off one every half hour. Like, what in the hell? And so we would sit there. And I kept being behind all of these campers because it was up in the mountains. It was all campers and vacationers and stuff. I was like, look at this. Like how frustrating. And then those things, you have to put a lot of gas in those RVs and shit. And then they're stopping them because it was all through the camping. Once it started being camping, it was nonstop. They would stop us like every few miles and we'd have to sit there for like 15 minutes to a half hour. It was the most craziest thing I'd ever experienced. And you had to just keep yourself calm. Because otherwise you lose your goddamn mind. I mean, at one point I did roll out a window and there was these guys just casually, they're just right next to my car, just casually talking. So I rolled out the window and I'm like, is there a reason we're sitting here? And the one who was sitting in the driver's seat was kind of a smart ass, I think. Because I think he said, because we're just doing it for fun or something. And I was like, what? And then the guy that was standing down in the road talking to him kind of leaned more towards me and said, they have to escort you through until the paint is dry. In that, and it would just went on and on and on. I mean, that added so much time to my drive. I couldn't even believe how much time was spent just sitting there. Like, I would turn my car off. And another weird thing was, normally when I go and I drive, and this was before we got to this part, there was no getting out of it. This part where they had us trapped like this, there was no bathroom. I mean, we're in the mountains where it's just camping places. And so, you know, it wasn't gas station bathrooms, stores and stuff like that. So in the first part, because this was the last 2 hours, the first part of the trip, then normally the whole trip, I maybe would have to go pee 2 times. That would be pushing it too. I would try and keep it to 1 time. Would go get gas and go pee, and that would be it. And this time, I've never had any experience like this before. It was like once every half hour or 15 minutes, I had to pee. And it wasn't just like, you know, a little tiny pee just felt like I had to pee. No, it was like, I was like thinking, are they putting diuretics in whatever they're spraying on us? Like, what the hell? When I woke up in the morning, I was having this horrible cramping in my stomach. And I kept thinking, what is cramping? Because I don't even have a uterus. What is causing this cramping? And now I'm thinking it was my bladder was spasming. And so it was having some sort of spasm or something because it wouldn't stop doing it. And when I was sitting in the car and it kept doing it, so I'd have to pull over and go pee, like in the middle of the night, wake up and have to pee. Like, I mean, I was peeing hard and over and over and over and over. And I was like, what the hell? This is weird. Like, where's this even coming from? And is there something like affecting my kidneys? Are my kidneys doing this? Is there something affecting my bladder causing spasms? Have they put some diuretic in our stuff? Because, you know, you start doing something like that, a lot of people are going to run to the doctor. Anything you do like that. But so I'm driving and driving. I have to keep pulling over and go and pee all over the place. It was crazy. I swear to God, when we were stuck in the thing for so long, I was about to just put my car in park and go and pee on the side of the road. I was like, fuck this shit. This is crazy. And there was snow everywhere. Like in the winter, the road I went on is closed in the winter. You're not even allowed. It's only open certain times of the year. And that's why all these campers and stuff go. It's like outrageously beautiful. I got some footage, and so I'm going to do some videos, but I'll try and share some to show. Because the thing that was getting me, so when I got to Okanagan, I think that's how you say it. It is, oh my God, it's so pretty. I was sitting there driving, and I was like, oh, this is where I wish my cabin was, just tucked way back there in the woods. And then I'd see people with their little cozy houses and the smoke going up, and I was like, oh man, this is the life. And so I was like, I wish my cabin was here. You know, I was just like, oh my God, so beautiful. And so I'm start thinking, oh, maybe I should start looking over here. Maybe I should find a cabin over here. You know, and I was just thinking about that. And I go like around the bend, and then it was miles of dead carcass, burned out trees. I started to cry. It was horrible. Everywhere you looked, all you saw was the remnants of burned up trees. And they were all like carcasses. They were all standing there, but they were real, like all totally torched, black, all shriveled, and just you could feel their pain. And it's super sad too, because trees are all connected at the root system everywhere, every place. Trees are connected and communicate with one another. And when you see that, you know, and you know that all those trees are in pain, all the trees are feeling it. And, you know, all the trees are suffering, and they're all being scorched and poured poison on. And so when I was driving through there, you know, and I was just like, just so upset, you know, thinking about their drone fires and how they're just attacking the forest. They don't care. They want to push us out of the forest. They want to push us down to the city so that they can control us. And it's just heartbreaking. I saw a deer right when it got hit, and it was still, as I was going past, it was twitching. It was horrible. It was so fucked. I hit a chipmunk. I never fucking kill anything. And oh my God, it broke my heart. There was so many that ran out in front of my car in this one. And I just can't, I keep seeing him because he was so happy. And I just keep on being like, okay, he was so happy. He probably just kept running. He didn't even know he was dead. He was so happy. So then I saw, every time I start to go, a big giant bald eagle flies right in front of me. So trippy every time. But what was it I saw besides the deer that had just gotten hit? I saw there were so many different animals that were killed on the way, but I saw some other weird thing that was, it just kept being like weird things. There's so much weird stuff. And so then all of those trees that were dead, and then you go swirling all through all these different mountains, and then start going up to the next one. And so I start going, oh, it's green again, it's pretty again. And feeling good, feeling like, okay, they're still, they're not completely destroyed. This is the Cascades. And so in Washington, I mean, Cascades go up in Canada. I think they go down in Colorado. I'm not sure where all, but the Cascades here where I was at. So if you looked on a map, I'm pretty sure you say Okanagan, and up by there. And so I was trying to think of some other things you could look up. But anyway, so when I went up and I started going, all of a sudden I started seeing like all of these trees that were totally orange. Remember when I said about them spraying this stuff and I could see the orange on the trees and it was like splatters everywhere? Well, this wasn't splatters on the trees. These were entire trees were orange, huge, like it was just like I had seen in that documentary. So if you took like a section of like 20 trees, then you had, I would say 3/4 of them orange and then some green ones sticking up. But all of them look completely dead. Like if you have a Christmas tree, and a real Christmas tree, and then you take it outside and you're just like, oh, I don't know what to do. So you just kind of set it there for a while and it turns orange. That's what it looked like everywhere. I got mad when I saw that. I was so angry. Oh, I was so mad. I was like, they are destroying these forests, and these animals are losing their home. The animals are going crazy. These poisons and this frequency, it's making them all messed up. And it's just, it was so sickening. And there was something just weird about the time. And even when I would be driving and I would look over at my little navigation thing, the numbers kept switching. And I kept, again, thinking, am I in some sort of Bermuda Triangle? Like, what the hell is going on? And I was up in the high mountains. And so I was thinking, maybe that is part of the whole thing. Is maybe that's why they don't want us in the mountains. Because they can't, it blocks their, the towers. It doesn't let the frequency go through. So, and there is so much magic. And as this world is opening up, the more magic is we open ourselves up to the truth, open ourselves up to the supernatural world we exist in, and quit defining this world like how they tell us. Then, you start to see like this magical world. Well, in the Force, it's the energy, the frequency, all of it is a lot different. And the Force is where a lot of supernatural exists because of that energy, because they aren't in there interfering with it. And so if you have all of these people who are living out like that they are living probably more connected to nature automatically, because you have to participate with nature to survive when you're living out in the mountains during winter and stuff. And during spring and summer is always preparing for winter, just like a squirrel, or I think it's just squirrels that spend all summer preparing for winter. But anyways, I was just thinking, it's super magical. in the mountains and stuff. And I think they want to keep us out of the mountains, besides that they can't make their weapons work there and stuff. But the poisons definitely work there. And I think that's what they're doing. And what I think is, so they got it fried with all of those trees and turned them all orange. The biggest majority of the trees, all orange, especially in this one section. So here in a little bit, as soon as they start drying things out, then all of a sudden that will be torched and it will take down more of the forest. They just, when you look at the mountains, like, I don't know where everybody lives, but I've been living by the mountains for a pretty long time. And when you look at the mountains, you see certain spots that are very dense. And then all of a sudden they'll just be less wide open. And then there'll be some more dense spots. And now I just look at it as kind of like this, they've been stripping stuff for a long time. Like, it doesn't make any sense for some of these big wide open things while you're going. And then seeing what they're doing right now and knowing what history really is about, and how they have, they've done these mass reductions a bunch of times, and we're all always being just studied on and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think that, they've destroyed nature a few times, and I don't know. I just find the whole thing just kind of sad. And I think that we really need to appreciate what we used to have, because it is going to be gone. When you think about the end of the world, it's the end of the world that we all knew. It is going to be gone. That world is going to be history. Like, it's like a movie, something that we lived, something we participated in. It was a play that we all did. Now it's over. And so there is sadness, about it. I was kind of feeling nostalgic. I got a Snickers bar. I did a bunch of shopping right before I left. I went to the dollar store while I was in town. I was like, I'm going to go get this shit done. I don't care if I have to still drive it 6 hours. I went to the grocery store, dollar store, got a bunch of olive oil. I got some avocado oil. I'm going to start putting that on my skin. I'm still doing the absorbic acid serum that I made. And then now I've got the almond oil, avocado oil, castor oil, tamalin butter, and all of that stuff. Like, and you don't have to put it all on your face at once, and you can make blends and stuff like that. But all of that stuff together is still cheaper than just one thing to go down and buy one beauty product from them that will definitely have chemicals. And the thing with their chemicals is your face gets addicted to them, and then you stop using their product and your face ages real fast. So natural is always better. And I'll tell you another thing real quick before I go is, because I was in so much pain, and I didn't want to because at home, when you use weed as a pain reliever, you just, smoke a couple hits and, that's it. And a couple hours later, as soon as your whatever pain, when you start feeling it again, you smoke a couple hits and you just go about your day. So, but I was like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. And no matter how much I can't get these knots to go out, they're going to have to just relax. And, and just keep doing my stretches and all this. I was hoping that the really hot water would help soaking. But anyways, so when I was going to my mom's, I was like, well, I can't just go over there and sit and smoke in her house. I would be, and I'm not going to run downstairs and smoke in my car every few minutes. Because I'm sure she just looks at me like some sort of a junkie or something, And so I was like, well, I'm going to go get some, I got some edibles. They're little candies, and some tincture. In the tincture, you can put in your tea. The tincture is so strong tasting. Oh my God. Ugh. You have to put it in something. It's horrible tasting. But it's a good pain reliever, I guess. I don't know that. I don't know what it would have been like if I didn't have it, because it's so painful even with anything. So, but anyways, so I got those things, and I told my mom, well, this is good because I got these And I told her what they were, and I said, I got these so you could try them so that you could get off of the pharmaceuticals. Just try this if you are not feeling well or you're in pain or something. And she was just like, I don't want to start hallucinating. I was like, you're not going to start hallucinating. And but the whole thing is look at how stigmatized. I mean, this is a plant. This is a plant. And people are so scared of it because it is all indoctrination. It's all propaganda. It's all programming. It's all what they've told us. And it is so programmed in people's minds that that's what they believe. And they believe it's probably better for them to take chemicals and, risk all of those things, which also creates lightheadedness and all the same kind of things as weed does. But weed is just natural. It's not changing if it's changing anything, it's changing it for the better. And you can look up about Judy Mikovits and all of her studies on cannabinoids and our health. She does a lot of stuff. I think that's what she travels around talking about, actually, because she's very into that. But anyways, that's what I probably need to send my mom stuff about, because she did listen to Judy in the beginning of this. But I was just like, oh my gosh, everything is just so stigmatized as to what they want us to use and how they want us to use it and stuff. But, I 100% believe everything is so much more better natural. And when I was trying to live in their, artificial life, I was feeling like shit. Not like I'm not feeling like shit now. I'm feeling really shitty. But I know that it is like, we're getting blasted with the toxins. I 100% do not think it's been this bad in several years. I think they started spraying several years ago, and we're noticing more and more, but for some reason they're really blasting us. And I don't know over there in Spokane the difference of what they're getting than here, but man, I can totally tell. All of the things that I felt like shit here, when I got over there, it was like 100 times worse. Like, I couldn't believe how my fingers swelled up. They were so huge. And the weird thing is that I was sitting there talking to my daughter, and she goes, what's weird is my fingers are so swollen. It's like, mine too. There's fucking something in these poisons. It's something, the toxins, but nobody wants to face it. It's a lot to face, like, what do you do if the government's poisoning you? But I'm not going to stop dropping it. I'm not going to stop saying it and telling people, because it is serious. And you need to be aware of it, not to be scared, but to make a plan, to take care of yourself. Make a plan of, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? And because the world's changing, and you got to adapt to change. That's evolution. You know what I mean? So anyways, hopefully I got some of those to make sense. I completed the whole sentences of what I was trying to say. But that drive yesterday was so weird. The whole peeing thing, I kept thinking, am I in some kind of space-time loop or something? How can you pee this much in 15 minutes? Like, this is bizarre world. And I'm telling you, by the 8th, 9th time I was pulling over, I was like, this is weird. Because I keep thinking, okay, it's got to just be my bladder. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to barely pee a tiny bit, and I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to ignore it now. I'm not going to pay any attention. But every time, I would just go and just freaking pee and pee and pee and pee. It's like, this is so fucking weird. So, I don't know. There's weird shit going on. No doubt about it. There's weird things with time. There's weird things about the space we're existing in, reality. Everything is shifting. And it's, it's kind of fantastical, really. Because, I think as long as you don't hold on to anything and think, just go with the flow. Because there's weird stuff happening. I wish that everybody could share all the weird stuff that they are happening. If somebody does want to share some weird shit happening and wants to talk about it and send a video or something, I'll post it so everybody can share the weird shit happening. But I think there's weird shit happening. So, anyways, I'm home and I'm going to get back into my routine. So I should be back in the morning, maybe even later today. We'll see how it goes. So talk to you later. Bye.